All right, so I'm about to leave for Florida, and I just wanted to drop a quick Jake Raw reaction because I'm seeing a bunch of, I guess, terrible narratives out there about the Rams, and I figured I'd just stomp on them real quick. So there's this narrative that the Rams, there's no way they're going to go back. They can't do it. Their whole reign of terror is over, and F them picks doesn't work, and yada yada yada. And look, I understand the first thing everyone is going to say is that they won a Super Bowl and all of that, but there's more to it than that, and that's why I'm making this video. So let me just remind you. Let's take a stroll down memory lane. The Rams started off the season, 3-1 in 2016. You have Case Keenum eating victory waffles. Everything's going well until it isn't. And then all of a sudden, the wheels completely fall off. They win one game the rest of the year, which was at MetLife, the game that I watched between Case Keenum versus Bryce Petty. Jared Goff goes 0-7. Everyone questions whether or not he's the guy. And then all of a sudden, the Rams do a incredible thing, and they go out and they hire 30-year-old head coach Sean McVay, who's considered too young. He shouldn't be qualified to be a head coach. He looks like a frat boy, yada, yada. Anyway, he takes the Rams to the playoffs, where they do lose in the wild card round to the Atlanta Falcons, who not long after they were just in the Super Bowl. And the veteran experience gets to him, obviously, in the moment. Sean McVay, there are a lot of different things that he would have done differently, yada, yada. So we move on to 2018, where he learned from his mistakes. And of course, now they're 13-3. They're in the Super Bowl. They lose to the Patriots. They did that all with Jared Goff on that rookie deal. And then they pay Jared Goff. Todd Gurley's play falls off a cliff due to the injuries. And essentially, the team starts to fall apart and rip at the seam. We see in 2019, they missed the playoffs. All of a sudden, a team that just went to the Super Bowl and probably should have won the Super Bowl, if we're being honest, fell off to the point where they didn't make the playoffs. But let's be honest here. They were probably going to make the playoffs, especially in a seven-team playoff format that we have today. But that was the last year of the 6-team playoff format, and they fell just short at 9-7. We move on to 2020, where this is a season where, look, they had the number one defense and the offense struggled. And Sean McVay tried to figure it out. The run game was top 10, but Jared Goff was not bringing them to the heights that they wanted to go to. However, his play did get a little bit better, especially in the divisional round against the Packers when it was all said and done, but they didn't have enough firepower, so they lost in the divisional round, which was a step up from the previous year, missing the playoffs. So then we fast forward to 2021, and right before the Super Bowl, we have a blockbuster trade, monumental trade, by the way, Jared Goff and a bunch of first-round picks going over to the Detroit Lions for Matthew Stafford. And Stafford immediately turns this team into not only a playoff contender or a Super Bowl contender, but a Super Bowl favorite in my eyes. And eventually they end up winning the Super Bowl despite not winning a game in November. Everyone turned their back on them, but Sean McVay kept them on the winning run. So why am I bringing this all up? Because 2022 just happened, and the Rams just had a very bad season. They went 5-12, which is the polar opposite direction of 12-5, which was the record that won them the Super Bowl. So here's the thing, okay? I keep hearing all of these narratives that the Rams are done. They can't make it. F them picks blew up in their face. But everyone is so quick to forget that they already went through this. Let's not forget this at all. 2017 was the part of the build, right? It was the part where, okay, they made significant strides. Could they have won a Super Bowl? Maybe, but there wasn't a lot of experience in the coaching staff yet. Sean McVay, he needed to learn some things. And then the next year they go to the Super Bowl. So after that, FM picks did work with a rookie quarterback contract. And keep in mind what I'm saying when I say rookie quarterback contract. No, Jared Goff was not a rookie in 2018, but Jared Goff was on a rookie wage scale contract, which is a lot better than when the Rams drafted number 1 overall and took Sam Bradford. The reason is because the CBA agreement has recently changed the wage scale. Actually, not recently, but it was a while ago. And before, those contracts wouldn't be flexible, right? You're paying your number one overall pick a ton of money. Now you're not paying them as much as you used to. And so that allows you a tool to basically take that small, since obviously quarterbacks get paid more than anybody, to take that small amount of money, and instead of paying them all that money right off the rip like you used to have to, now you have the opportunity to kind of have a dispersal here where you bring, you take that quarterback money that you would have spent in the past, and now maybe you can bring in an Ndamukong Suh. Now you can go out and you could trade for Marcus Peters, and you could trade for Aqib Talib. Now you can pay these guys, right? So that's how something like that happens. 2019, they paid Jared Goff. Todd Gurley, they already paid, and he started to fall off. So the Rams started to feel it. They started to feel the effects of paying Brandon Cooks. And all of a sudden, now they have to kind of do a little bit of a remodel like they're doing right now, essentially. The remodel, existed, and let's be honest here, Goff made it through, but Gurley did not. They ended up cutting Gurley. They traded Brandon Cooks for a second-round pick in the 2020 draft, which then netted them Van Jefferson, a starting wide receiver we see on the roster today. So, what is my point? Well, my point here is that the Rams have already gone through the act of, okay, we have a rookie quarterback, and now we paid the rookie quarterback, so now we have to find alternate ways to make a winning team out of this, because now we have to pay them, so now maybe we can't get the Ndamukong Suh we want. Now we can't get Marcus Peters who we want. Now we can't get that Aqib Talib. But the Rams did figure this out, because even though they could no longer do that with the rookie the rookie contract, they didn't have the rookie contract anymore, but then they proved themselves, because when they went out and got Matthew Stafford, it was the same thing. They're paying Matthew Stafford already as it is, and they're paying him, a decent amount of money, not obviously right now, but now it's a ton more money than they were previously paying him, but they took on that contract. And the point is, Matthew Stafford was not a rookie deal. So Sean McVay and Les Snead have shown that they can develop and build a roster with a rookie contract, which is a lot easier to do because you have a lot of flexibility what you can do with your cap and add different guys and go all in, essentially. But what they did without a rookie contract is very impressive. The fact that they got Stafford, the fact they got Odell, the fact they got Von Miller, all those guys, very impressive to fit that under the cap. Now, everyone says, well, the Rams do. Okay, the debt has to be paid. And maybe to a degree you're right. But let's not act like the Rams can't get about 40 to 60 million under the cap. Let's not act like the Rams aren't a top 10 youngest team in the league. Let's not act like Sean McVay didn't just come back and he's working on fixing his main issue, which is, of course, the run game. He went out and got Mike LaFleur, who threw 87 passes to running backs last year and wants to run the football. So that's a good thing, right? Let's not act like they don't have a core bunch of pieces. Kupp, Donald, Stafford, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, 2022 didn't go the way it was supposed to, but the Rams have already shown you that they can build back stronger, and they have. They've done it with a rookie quarterback contract, and they've done it with a veteran quarterback contract. So right now shouldn't be any different. Maybe they have to cut back a little bit. Maybe they can't make that big trade that they're dying and chomping at the bit to make. But that does not mean this team is done. That does not mean this team is one and done. Because guess what? There's no such thing as one and done. They've gone to 2 Super Bowls under Sean McVay since 2018. That's insane. No one talks about that. No one talks about that because it doesn't fit a narrative. So that brings me to my next question, or my next thing here, is that, look, okay, I like the Eagles and what they're doing, and I think they deserve credit, and they stuck by Howie Roseman when they could have fired him. But let's be honest here. And I've seen this. It's not just one person. It's a lot of people. The Eagles, right, they go to the Super Bowl this year. And they went and they did all this with Jalen Hurts and so forth. The Eagles, in their last 2 Super Bowls, now that they've gone to, they've done it now both with rookie quarterback contracts. When they didn't have that rookie quarterback contract, when they paid Wentz, they weren't very good. And now they're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts after this season. We've already seen the Rams can do that. They can maneuver around the rookie quarterback contract. But can Howie Roseman? Well, we don't really know. because essentially Howie Roseman got rid of Carson Wentz, started anew with Jalen Hurts, and, year 3, essentially, now we're talking about him in the Super Bowl. And to me, I think they deserve credit on how they built their team, but are they able to get a Hassan Reddick or a Javon Hargrave or Darius Slay with Jalen Hurts getting paid as much as he's going to end up getting paid? I don't know. And that's the thing. So it's not as simple as, oh, well, this is how the Eagles did it, and the Rams don't do it as well as the Eagles. It's not that simple. It's really not. And on the flip side of things, then you have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, who they're doing it with a $50 million quarterback. So, I mean, look, bottom line is the Rams deserve credit for how they built their team. It may not be the most conventional way. It may not be the way you personally want them to, but they did it. They've proven they could do it twice. Going to the Super Bowl twice is an accomplishment. I know they didn't win in 2018 to 2019. That does not take away the accomplishment of getting there in Sean McVay's second year, okay? And it does not take away the accomplishment of getting there twice in his career already. And he's still the youngest coach in the NFL. So for those of you who are out on the Rams, stay out. Stay out. No big deal. No skin off my back, no skin off yours. But if you're going to parade around these stupid narratives, it's going to blow up in your face. I'm telling you this right now. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a stupid narrative. It's, oh, well, they did it once. They can't do it again. Wrong. They did it twice. And I wouldn't be making this video if people actually realized like the sheer, like all of the pressure that was on them to do this with Stafford, and they won the Super Bowl. And now they had a bad year with a lot of injuries, and, they went 5-12. They had the number 1 schedule. And now there are people, even though they have the third place schedule, even though it's a clean slate and everyone's healthy again, people are just convinced the Rams aren't coming back. But I don't know if it's convincing or if it's they hope they don't come back. That's not hating. That's being concerned. I'm sorry. You look at the NFC last year, very weak, in my opinion, very weak conference. You could argue the third best NFC team didn't even make the playoffs. The Detroit Lions didn't make the playoffs. I mean, if it's anything like like it was this year, next year, then you can almost pencil in the Rams in the NFC title game. I think the Rams turn around. I think maybe next year isn't their Super Bowl year. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't rule out anything. I wouldn't rule out another Super Bowl. I wouldn't rule out a season where they just miss the playoffs. But I'm not expecting them to just miss the playoffs. I think they'll make it. I think they have a shot at the NFC title game. Right now, I'm not sold on them as Super Bowl contenders. Just because there's some things that they have to do. I need to see how this roster progresses. But the idea of them being one and done, some saying that they set them back for years. Guys, they had all their draft picks in 2024. They have one that they're missing or two that they're missing this year. The fourth rounder, which I don't even like to talk about, and the first rounder. I mean, let's be honest here. The Rams are fine. Could they be better? Sure. But they have a lot of talent. We look at cap space as a burden. We look at cap space, they're $11 million over the cap or $14 million over the cap. Yeah, but they have Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Matthew Stafford. I mean, the list goes on. Cooper Kupp. They have guys on their team that no one else has. They have arguably the best wide receiver. They have a top 5 quarterback. They have the best cornerback in the league. They have one of the top linebackers, and they have arguably the best player still to this day in Aaron Donald in the league. I mean, you can say all you want, but at the end of the day, this team is very talented. And they can get even better with the draft in the offseason. And now they have an offseason. There's no holds. You didn't just win the Super Bowl. It's not like, I wanted to get rid of that guy, but I can't because we just won the Super Bowl. It's hard to justify. No. None of that. You went 5-12. Now you can make changes that maybe you were, pushing off. So, something to keep in mind. I don't think they're done. I'm very excited to cover them this year once again. And for those of you who have sat through this entire video, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. And don't worry, even though I'll be in Florida and I'll be there for about a week, I'll still be putting out content when I can. It's still my job, and I still plan on, entertaining you guys and educating whatever I can. So definitely more shorts on the way. Going to keep doing the NFL draft stuff. I really enjoy it, and I'm having a blast, scouting these quarterbacks. I'll be going in running backs and wide receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen, which everyone loves, defensive line. Then we'll have edge, linebacker, corner, and safety in that order. So, pretty much the natural order of football. But that's going to do it. If you guys have any suggestions on a prospect that I should scout, prospect that we should interview, anything, drop it below. I look at all the comments. I can't always get to every comment, but I do look at them at the very least. So, we'll see if we go live at all when I'm in Florida, but I'm definitely planning on putting out more content. But until next time, guys, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, folks.